On Sunday just gone in Europe was the Dark Souls 2 stress beta test. Nacomi Bandi wanted to see if the servers could handle the stress of people playing their latest game. I got to play a good 2 hours of the beta and wanted to explain to you the new things in the game and how you will approach Dark Souls from now on. This is of course a beta, so anything here could be altered in the future and the characters might not be scaled right for the area we were testing in. We got to test out a small section of the game in the ruins of old, deep within a dark, dank forest overlooked by the undead Purgatory? Purgatory, yes, the Purgatory. Anyway, the area was infested with zombies, undead bandits, forgotten warriors, and abominations dual-wielding giant scythes. The demo began by letting you try out one of the 6 pre-made classes, all starting at soul level 20. There was the soldier, warrior, sorcerer, Templar Knight, dual swordsman and the hunter. I got to try out all the classes but spent most of my time with the sorcerer. The first thing I noticed when I got into the game was how well the stats screen has been improved. You can finally see what each of the stats will do for you. It's a lot more clearer and you can finally see what the equipment actually changes in your stat screen now. Second thing I noticed was spell skills have been given their own stat values, and it also introduces a new type for clerics, darkness, allowing you to hex and do shadow damage. New weapons have also been altered that will allow the sorcerer to use magic and fire spells with one staff now, instead of switching between the staff and the pyromancy hand. This goes the same for the cleric, who uses lightning and shadow damage now with their weapons. Menus have been greatly improved as well, so if you have multiple items they are separated into their own category it belongs to, including individual weapon categories and armor types, so you can quickly find the weapon you want instead of a mess of the bottomless box from Dark Souls 1. Spellcasting has changed now as well. Instead of spells only casting at one speed, you can now choose between a slow and powerful attack or a fast and weaker attack. This is decided with the right shoulder buttons, either the first one or the second one. The interesting thing about this is the spell only consumes 1 point as well, no matter which version you choose to cast. The spells seem more powerful visually now and come in various forms instead of multiple versions of the soul arrow from the original game. You've got an area effect magic volley spell, or you can summon a magical greatsword to do massive damage in a 180 degrees angle in front of you. Being a caster is still very powerful. The AI does seem to be susceptible to magic though, being able to stun lock them in place sometimes. To counter this however, the developers have changed it so casting spells uses stamina now. No longer can you spam spells and have a full bar to dodge away. This is an interesting change to balance spellcasters so they can no longer kite as easily. But why would you want to spam cast and waste all your magic before boss? Well, because a new item has been introduced called the Amber Herb that will actually restore a little bit of magic back to you. Now you can fight enemies to the boss without fear of running out of magic anymore. Other new items include a life gem that will slowly regenerate a portion of your health over a small period of time. These are one-time use items, so you use them rarely or when you're out of Ester flasks. There are also 2 new types of white sign soapstone, a normal and a small one. The normal one delivers a token of fidelity to the player if you help another player, and the other has a limited range of where it can be used and has an unknown award. The last new item is the human effigy, which reverses hollowing in this game. Being hollowed has changed since the original Dark Souls. Your maximum health will now reduce over time by around 10% each time you die. You'll use these human effigies to restore your health back to 100%. That is the majority of the changes to characters and items, so let's talk about the demo itself. You enter the world in the dark, dank huntsman's corpse. Your task in this demo is to reach the undead Purgatory, overlooking the huntsman's court where a nasty undead chariot fight awaits you. You'll travel through dark rooms where undead bandits and zombies lurk in the dark, ready to ambush unsuspecting players. Lightness plays a much more important role in this game, and you can carry a torch in one hand and a weapon in the other. This will let you illuminate darkened areas, but you will lose your life-saving shield. It's a great choice system the developers have introduced. Do you want light or protection? You can remedy these problems by lighting torches along the way or destroying planks of wood blocking windows. The bandits you encounter are very fast and carry different weapons which enable them to do very different combos. They like to cause ambushes as well, but you will eventually get past them and start noticing jumping sections have returned with rewarding incentives. This is another change to the game's controls. In the original Dark Souls you could jump by running for a second then press the run button again to jump. It made platforming quite tricky, so they've introduced an option to change jumping to the left trigger button. I still suck at jumping however. no matter the control scheme. Backstabbing has returned, but it's been slightly trickier to pull off now. One, because you can be attacked in the animation now instead of being invincible, but also enemies when they take a swing at you will try and stay facing you, so it's harder to dodge them and cause a backstab. The basic zombies are easy enough to do this on, however, in the demo. Then came the first challenging enemy for myself. An abomination of a creature carrying 2 scythes, able to run at you and cleave massive areas. As a caster, this was an opponent I had to kite, since if he got into melee range I was dead. He was one of the few enemies you couldn't stun lock into place, so you had to be more evasive than normal. They've also seemed to have introduced a new respawn type mechanic. When you go through the area first couple of times and kill him, he will keep respawning, but after a limited time he will stop respawning altogether. I think the reason for this is he's guaranteed to always drop items, and in this case it was life gems. This may be because it's a demo, but I'll wait and see what happens in the future. After exploring the woods, I went up a hill and faced some shadow phantoms who I easily killed from range again, showing how powerful and exploitive the caster is as well. Once I got up to the boss chamber, I got to experience a new interesting challenge. The room shape was like a donut infested with skeletons, and a skeleton chariot racing around the room constantly in a loop. The only way to avoid him was to hide in little alcoves that are hidden around the room. If you don't, he will knock you down and also any skeletons that are in the way. To beat this boss, you have to reach a lever on the other side of the room to bring down a gate to stop the chariot and start in the second phase of the fight, versus a giant skeletal horse. The challenge here was reaching the lever while avoiding the boss and the skeletons. You could destroy the skeletons, but there were necromancers hiding in alcoves resurrecting them, so you have to kill them also. It was a fun and very intense challenge, having to manage the skeletons, kill the necromancers, and also avoid the chariot while it ran around while you try and reach the lever, which is very far away on the other side of the room. After you defeated the boss, that was the demo over, and you could explore the area for more hidden treasures. I have heard I did miss one of the bosses in the demo, but I will try and do that next Sunday when the beta comes up again. I just will spend some time now talking about another couple of changes to the game itself that I noticed for melee characters. When you locked onto targets in the original Dark Souls, you were limited to the direction you could swing your weapon, and also movement was limited to shuffle and dodging. This has been changed, so you have free range on how to swing your weapons while still being locked onto a target. You can choose the direction on your movement trigger and swing the weapon. I can see this being a curse at first, but with practice, Dark Souls players will come to appreciate this change. You can now hold the run button to freely run away while still being locked onto a target, instead of deselecting them, then running, and then reselecting them. I wasn't able to test out the summoning or invading other players in this demo since the servers were broken, but there is always next time. The last thing I should mention is how visually stunning this game looks. Grass was swaying, light played a much more important aspect by illuminating rooms in interesting ways, and monster design is as grotesque as ever. Even the new armor your character wears flows around and moves, bringing this dark, corrupt world to life. There were a couple of frame rate drops from time to time, but not game breaking like the original Dark Souls. This is a beta however, and we're also playing on an Asian platform that is the PS3. That was about it. All in all, I was very impressed on how well the game is coming along with all the subtle changes. I'll be looking forward to playing this on PCs next year. If you've enjoyed this preview, please let me know in the comments below and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and please, be prepared to die all over again. Bye.